بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So here, what I do is I don't want to get into other tracks. I just wanted to say, okay, let's say we decide to go into as become a network engineer. That's where our focus is. We want to become a network engineer, or maybe a system engineer, or the desktop support, or a network administrator, or maybe you want to become anything like security engineer, or even if you want to become a cyber security, that is also kind of a roadmap towards, but not completely we do in that. Whatever relating to network and security, now we'll try to jump into that. Okay. So the first thing when you want to do, so evaluate yourself. Now, like I said, if you want to become a network engineer or anything, now your personal skills, personal evaluation will decide where you will exactly land. But still, you don't need to really worry much on that. You just need to keep learning. Okay. So the first thing you have to decide where we should start. Normally, I say, wherever you go, I say, to start with CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate, where we cover the networking basics and security basics. Now, this is common for wherever you want to go, whether you want to become a network security engineer or network engineer, system administrator, network administrator, or any kind of role, network analyst, or anything you want to do. This is where you actually start. Okay. So, whenever you start, now, the first step is now these are the steps, the foundations of these are the foundations of learning. Okay, so foundation of learning means whatever you plan to learn. Okay, like let's say you want to do a course on one course which I'm offering, let's say level 1 into network engineer course. Let's say it's a 6 months duration, or you want to become a network security engineer, that is again 6 to 8 months. So whichever the program you select, like many people, they enroll for this program. Even I have more than 30 people enrolled in the last 6 months, more than that. But the problem is when they enroll, the problem is they lack somewhere. The first thing is the foundation of the successful learning. So learning is the first step. The learning is the first step. It means in order to learn, the first thing you need to make sure that you get the good quality training. That's the first thing. Whatever you want to learn, right? Anything it can be. Like you need to learn through online, offline training videos. Offline is something a little bit rare, but now you have multiple options now. You can just watch training videos and you can learn and gain knowledge, right? You'll find plenty of tutorials. Even you see there are many of my students who just pass with YouTube videos and clear the interviews. And they work and they just go refer some videos on the YouTube and try to do many things. Even I have seen many real-time production working people. Whenever any of my students says, I want to reset the console password for this, or I want to I have some issue of this troubleshooting, or maybe some how to demount my rack from server. I just search one video and send it to them. Okay, that's it, because I cannot go and explain each and everything. So specific. So quality training is important. Of course, the training is important. And while doing the training, you will be learning the concepts. That's something, because the core principles, understanding the core principles is important. Okay. Then after that, that's consistency is also important. You have to make sure that you are regular in these things. Like let's say if you have dedicated yourself with learning a CCNA course, let's say just a simple course CCNA, and this course goes for 45 days, 6 weeks. Now it's really important that you are consistent daily, whatever the class is going, you are attending the sessions. At the same time, you are practicing the sessions. You need to make sure that you also practice the labs, make sure that you revise the concept. These are all important things. You cannot just simply learn the things by just listening to anyone. Okay. So, so the first step is the foundations of the learning is like, you have to make sure that you get a good training and understand the concepts and make sure that you are regular, consistency. And of course, you have to do some practice and additional readings, like reading some books or some other blogs or referring some other videos from other authors. That will again help you to get more deeper. Okay, and at the end, you also need to make sure that you do the lab practice and do the revision, right? So you have to need to practice as well, right? Simply listening to the sessions will not help you. You have to keep on practicing them, and every week you have to review them. That's something how it goes. Okay. So this is common for any subject. Any subject you learn, whether you're learning any Java programming or whether you're learning any Python program or whether you're learning any networking or whether even you are learning your graduation or any college, the same thing, you just need to follow these simple rules and then sum up that with a practice. So this is something what you do anywhere, even if you join the CCNA course with me or without me, you join with us or we join with any other. Probably this is the first thing you have to do, right? Obviously, you have to do. And many people don't do this. Unfortunately, in my classes also, what I observe, it's very hard to find. Roughly around 10 to 20 people only manage to do this, and rest of the people they just attend the sessions, and I see they come back for the same course after 1 year again joining the same CCNA course. Okay, simply out of subject, and they just get into some job, doing some other job, and then coming back. So if you don't do something seriously, then you will be in the same position. Okay, that's what I know. Many people, even there might be many people are attending the same sessions because most of the participants are from old as well. So these things are important. And anywhere you do, this is something mandatory. You have to go through with the proper training along with the consistency and all those things and practice. Now the question is, now let's come to the problem. Okay, let's say I did some courses. Let's say I learned, let me take a simple example of any network engineer, even those who join with me as well. Okay, I'm not taking anywhere, any other institutions, anywhere. I just take my own example of my own students. You know, we have some simple program level into network engineer, which covers the CCN and CCNP. Again, I'll come to this program more in detail. And we have another programs like NSC program, Network Security Engineer, where we cover CCNA and some firewalls, network security. These are the two famous programs apart from CCIE programs, which I do. I don't want to get into CCIE program. That is more advanced programs for specialized for 10 plus years of experience. So let's take freshers or someone who wants to jump into the networking or IT, these kind of roles. Okay. So roughly these two, each course will go around 6 months. Okay. 6 months duration. Now, generally, there will be two things. First, we do online classes. Okay. Uh, I'm not saying I do best training, but generally it's something you do online classes. We do give the access to videos, workbooks, everything available, videos to review and workbooks to do that. And of course, there will be a lab workbook to do the practice. So obviously, you have to do the class, and where the classes. Uh, Sometimes you cannot attend all the classes. That's again common for everyone. Even sometimes I don't take all the classes all the time. So that is common, but at then you have to do this, right? The first thing. Now the second problem, like I said, now that's the first thing. The first thing is, let me just use, so what I said, the first thing is a train. Okay, the training, where we do the online as well as we do share the videos. Again, there are many people who just take the videos and they just learn. Simple. The second thing is the lab practice. Of course, you have to practice a lot, at least minimum what we share in the workbooks to make sure that you are good at practicing. So these two things are basic for anyone. Okay, and many people still do that. I'm not saying there are many people who don't do this, and there are many people who do this, but still it's hard to get into a job. So okay, so what is the first thing? Good training with the core concepts. You have to make sure that you have a very strong concepts knowledge. And the second thing, that comes with a lot of lab practice, what you do as per the workbook. That's a minimum thing. Okay, now these two things are common for everyone, but the real challenge comes now. Coming to the actual challenge, now this is the main part. This is the main part. Okay, whatever I discussed, that is just a kind of an problems what we face, but generally this is where the main problem comes. So this is a learning part. Okay. Now, why we do learning? Simply to get into a job, right? Obviously, to get into a job, that's the first thing. Before you start your own business, obviously, you want to get into a job. That's the main goal, right? So now, while you're getting into a job, this is where the people face the problem. One is experience. What's the first problem? The lack of experience, right? Because many jobs, if you go, even in US or any place you go, when you say you just want to apply for a job, the first thing what they do is they see the experience. After that, they will see other things, your skill set, your certification. That comes secondary. But in order to get shortlisted, experience plays an important role. At the same time, your profile, your resume, and your certifications and your skill set. These are all the things what plays an important role, but the major role is played by the experience. Because if you see the market, it's very hard to find a job without experience. Even if you search for anywhere, they say freshers, but at the end, there will be a minimum of 2 years of experience, what is expected for any job profile. Okay. Now, the first thing is lack of experience. I'll come to the second problem. So, first, let's try to understand the lack of experience. What is a lack of experience? So, let's come to this point first.